The rarest woman on earth is not the one who stands at the center of attention, commanding every glance. She is not the loudest voice in the room, nor the one with the highest title or the grandest stage. She is the one who doesn't need any of it. She walks into a place and does not care to be seen, yet people notice her presence without a word being spoken. She is often misunderstood, sometimes envied, sometimes feared, because she plays by no one's rules but her own. They call her the Sigma female. Few recognize her, fewer still understand her. But those who do know that she is not just different, she is rare. So rare, in fact, that once you begin to see her clearly, you may never look at women, or yourself, the same way again. A Sigma female is not a type that fits neatly into the categories society tries to draw. People are familiar with the alpha, the one who leads openly, takes charge, and demands recognition. They know the beta, supportive, social, and comfortable in following, but the Sigma stands apart from both. She is not concerned with ranking herself above or below anyone. Her life is not built on hierarchy, but on inner balance. She doesn't chase control like the alpha, nor does she seek belonging like the beta. She walks her own path, guided by a sense of self that does not bend to the crowd. At her core, the Sigma female is independent in the truest sense. She makes decisions without waiting for approval. She holds herself accountable, relying on her own judgment rather than leaning too heavily on others. This is why people often mistake her for being distant or cold. But in truth, she is simply content with her own company. She does not need to fill silence with noise or empty her mind with constant distractions. She finds meaning in simplicity and clarity. To understand her is to understand that strength can be quiet. Not every leader needs to stand in front of an army. Some lead by example, by the way they live their lives with honesty, discipline, and confidence. The Sigma female does not announce who she simply is. Her value does not come from others noticing her, but from the way she knows herself. And in a world where so many people are desperate to be seen, she stands out precisely because she does not try. Why is the Sigma female considered rare? Because the qualities she carries are not easily found, nor are they easily built. Many claim independence, but when the world strips away support, they crumble. Many say they are strong, but strength often depends on how others perceive them. The Sigma female is different because her foundation is not built on the shifting ground of outside approval. It is carved from within. Like a diamond, she is formed under immense pressure. Most stones break before they ever shine. Only a few endure enough to reveal their true brilliance. Her rarity also comes from choice. While most people are pulled by the gravity of society, seeking status, validation, and constant interaction, the Sigma female quietly resists. She does not follow the current, nor does she fight against it loudly. Instead, she steps out of the river altogether and creates her own path through the wilderness. Few are willing to walk that way because solitude is heavy and freedom comes with responsibility. It is easier to play the roles the world gives you, harder to reject them and live by your own design. And this is why people call her rare. Not because she is some mystical being, but because so few have the courage to do what she does. She reminds us that strength and peace do not need an audience. She shows that self-respect cannot be handed down by a crowd. Her existence alone is proof that true independence is possible, but only for those who dare to pay the price for it. The Sigma female finds power in solitude, and this is where she differs most from the rest. To many, being alone feels like punishment. Silence makes them restless, and the absence of others makes them uneasy. But to her, solitude is not emptiness. It is strength. It is a space where she regains clarity, where the noise of the world falls away, and where her mind becomes her closest ally. She is not afraid of her own company because she knows who she is when the crowd disappears. There is a difference between loneliness and solitude. Loneliness is a hunger for connection, a feeling of being incomplete without someone else. Solitude is fullness, the recognition that you already carry enough within you to be whole. The Sigma female embodies this difference. When she is alone, she is not diminished, she is renewed. The world may misunderstand her, calling her antisocial or detached, but she understands something deeper. True strength is not measured by how well you can hold on to others, but by how well you can stand when no one is there to hold on to you. History has shown that many great thinkers, leaders, and creators understood this truth. They withdrew from constant noise to sharpen their minds and hear their own thoughts. The Sigma female does the same in her own way. She uses solitude not as an escape from the world, but as a place to refine herself before returning to it, and this is what makes her powerful. While others scatter their energy in endless social circles, she conserves hers. She chooses quality over quantity, meaning over distraction. Solitude is not her weakness, it is her hidden source of strength. The Sigma female does not live for validation. In a world where so many chase likes, compliments, and constant approval, she stands apart. She knows that seeking validation from others is like drinking salt water. The more you consume, the thirstier you become. The moment you depend on it, you lose control over yourself. She chooses instead to anchor her worth within, not in the shifting opinions of people who come and go. This freedom from validation makes her steady in ways others cannot understand. She does not need to be told she is enough because she already knows it. She does not measure her progress against someone else's praise. Whether the world applauds or criticizes, she remains the same, unmoved by the noise. This calm detachment can confuse others, even frustrate them, because they cannot control her through approval or rejection. That independence, quiet but unshakable, is part of what makes her so rare. Think of women throughout history who carried this spirit. Joan of Arc did not wait for permission to act on her convictions. She stood firm when others doubted, and even when she faced judgment, her belief did not waver. Though her story is extreme, it reflects the same principle. Strength does not need validation. The Sigma female carries that same flame, though often in smaller, everyday ways. She builds her life without waiting for applause. She knows the praise of others can vanish overnight, but self-respect endures. That is why she is free. In letting go of the need to be constantly seen, she becomes impossible to ignore. The Sigma female's strength is not only in her independence, but in her discipline. She has learned that control over oneself is greater than control over others. Many people are ruled by impulse, anger, desire, fear, envy. They act without thinking, and in doing so they hand their power away. But the Sigma female is different. She knows that the first and most important kingdom to govern is the self. If she can master her reactions, her emotions, and her choices, then no one else can master her. This self-discipline shows in small and quiet ways. She is not easily provoked into arguments. She is not carried away by trends or temporary pleasures. When others chase instant gratification, she is willing to wait, to endure discomfort, to hold steady until the right moment. It is not because she lacks feeling, but because she has learned to guide her feelings instead of being driven by them. This makes her calm under pressure and resilient in storms. The Stoics taught that a person who conquers themselves is mightier than one who conquers cities. The Sigma female embodies this truth. She does not boast about her strength, but it reveals itself when life tests her. Others may break down in the face of challenge, but she does not easily waver. Her authority does not come from commanding others, but from commanding herself. And that kind of quiet authority often speaks louder than any raised voice. Discipline is her shield and her compass. It protects her from chaos and directs her toward purpose. While many waste their lives reacting to the world, she invests hers in shaping her own course. This is why her presence feels so steady, because it is built on self-mastery. The Sigma female often pays a price for her independence. Because she does not live as others expect, she is frequently misunderstood. People may call her cold, when in truth she is simply reserved. They may label her arrogant, when she is only confident without needing outside proof. They may see her as distant, when she is merely guarding her peace. The world tends to misinterpret what it cannot control, and so the Sigma female becomes a target for projection. This misunderstanding can create isolation. Friends may drift away, unable to accept that she does not crave constant validation. Colleagues may view her as difficult because she refuses to play office politics. Even in relationships, she may be accused of being detached because she will not bend her values just to please someone else. Yet beneath these judgments lies a simple truth. People fear what they cannot define, and the Sigma female cannot be easily placed into a box. The lone wolf is often mistaken for dangerous simply because it does not travel with the pack. In the same way, the Sigma female is often misunderstood because she chooses her own company and her own path. But the wolf is not always hunting. Sometimes it is simply moving with purpose, guided by instincts others do not share. She accepts this burden of misunderstanding as part of her life. It is not easy, but it strengthens her. Every false label becomes another chance to stand firm in who she truly is. And over time, those who once misjudged her often come to respect her, not because she tried to change their opinion, but because she never allowed their opinion to change her. The Sigma female does not compete for position. She is not interested in proving herself through comparison, nor does she waste energy climbing ladders others have built. Alphas may battle for dominance, and betas may find comfort in following, but the Sigma does neither. She walks her own road entirely. To her, competition is a distraction, a game that keeps people trapped in cycles of proving and chasing. She does not need to win because she does not play. This refusal to compete can be unsettling to others. In workplaces, she may confuse rivals who cannot understand why she will not engage in their power struggles. In friendships, she may seem detached because she does not measure herself against others. In life, she simply creates her own measures of success. While others are climbing a mountain to stand above, she may quietly be building her own home in the valley below, satisfied because it is hers, not because anyone else approves. There is a paradox here. By refusing to compete, the Sigma female often ends up ahead. While others exhaust themselves fighting for attention, she invests her energy into growth, discipline, and authenticity. The strength she gains from this quiet focus naturally elevates her, making her stand out even more. It is not her goal, but it is the result. In a world obsessed with rank, her detachment from the race gives her an unusual kind of power. She is proof that you do not need to beat others to live fully. You only need to stay true to yourself. That is why she seems rare, because most are too busy competing to realize they don't have to. When it comes to relationships, the Sigma female moves differently than most. She does not collect a large circle of acquaintances, nor does she crave constant interaction. She values depth over numbers. To her, a single relationship built on truth and loyalty is worth more than 100 surface-level connections. This means she is selective with her time and energy. She does not open her life easily, and those who gain her trust understand it is a privilege, not a given. This cautious approach often makes her appear distant in the beginning. She observes quietly, watching how people act when there is nothing to gain. She listens more than she speaks, and through silence she sees clearly who is genuine and who is not. Because of this, few people make it into her inner circle, but those who do find her to be one of the most loyal and devoted individuals they could ever meet. In love, she is not swayed by appearances or shallow charm. She looks for alignment of values, for honesty, and for strength of character. She will not lower her standards out of fear of being alone, because she has already made peace with solitude. This is what makes her love rare. It is never born out of desperation, only out of choice. When the Sigma female commits, she does so completely. She does not play games or waste time with half measures. Her independence allows her to stand alone, but when she chooses to stand with someone, it is with sincerity and depth. And that is why her relationships, though few, are powerful. They are built on authenticity, not need. The Sigma female carries a strength that often goes unnoticed at first, the strength of observation. She does not rush to speak or to place herself at the center of every discussion. Instead, she listens, she watches, and she gathers more than others realize. This habit of quiet attention gives her an advantage that loudness never can. While others are busy filling the air with words, she is piecing together patterns, reading between lines, and understanding more than what is being said. Her silence is not emptiness, it is intention. People often reveal themselves when they talk too much. They show their insecurities, their desires, and their weaknesses without meaning to. The Sigma female understands this. By observing, she sees not just what people want her to see, but also what they try to hide. This makes her a keen judge of character. She does not need long to sense whether someone is trustworthy or false, genuine or manipulative. The Stoics taught that wisdom begins with listening, not speaking. The Sigma female reflects this truth naturally. She would rather take in the world first, then respond with calm clarity when her words can carry weight. And when she does choose to speak, people listen, because they know her words are not wasted. This quiet strength is part of her rarity. Many underestimate her, thinking she is passive because she does not rush to compete for attention. Yet those who have watched her closely realize the opposite. Her silence is sharp, her observation deep, and it is often the silent one in the room who understands the most. The life of a Sigma female, though powerful, is not without its challenges. One of the greatest is the danger of isolation. Her strength in solitude can become a double-edged sword. Independence may give her freedom, but if left unchecked, it can harden into walls too high for anyone to climb. What was once peace can turn into loneliness if she forgets that human connection, though risky, is also essential. She may struggle to balance her need for space with the natural human need for companionship. Because she values authenticity, she refuses shallow connections, but in doing so, she risks closing the door even on those who are sincere. This can create seasons of life where she feels apart from the world, watching it move without her. And though she is strong enough to endure this, it does not mean it comes without cost. There is also the weight of carrying everything alone. Others may easily ask for help, lean on friends, or pour their emotions into social circles. The Sigma female, however, often chooses to solve her own struggles in silence. While this keeps her strong, it can also become exhausting. Strength can bend under too much pressure, and even the rarest woman must admit she is human. The challenge of isolation is a reminder that her greatest strength requires balance. Solitude should be a place of renewal, not a prison of the heart. The Sigma female knows this battle is lifelong. To remain independent without becoming detached, to remain self-sufficient without losing the warmth of connection. It is here, in this struggle, that her humanity becomes most visible. The Sigma female is not simply born, she is shaped. Her character is forged through trials, disappointments, and challenges that strip away illusions. Many women may start with the seeds of Sigma qualities, but it is hardship that brings them to life. Pain has a way of burning away dependence, of forcing a person to discover their own strength when no one else is there to carry them. For the Sigma female, these experiences do not destroy her, they refine her. Rejection often plays a role in her story. She may have been misunderstood in her youth, perhaps overlooked or underestimated. Instead of chasing acceptance, she learned to find stability within. Betrayal may have taught her the difference between empty words and true loyalty. Failures may have shown her the value of resilience, teaching her to stand again even when the ground seemed to collapse beneath her. Each wound becomes part of her armor, not as bitterness but as wisdom. She is not hardened into stone. Rather, she becomes sharpened, like steel in fire. Her independence is not rebellion for its own sake. It is survival turned into strength. Where others might have broken, she found a way to rebuild herself. This process often takes years, sometimes a lifetime, and it leaves her with a quiet authority that cannot be faked. The development of a Sigma female is proof that struggle, while painful, can give birth to resilience. She shows that strength is not about avoiding hardship, but allowing it to transform you. Every scar carries a lesson, and every lesson builds a woman who no longer fears standing alone. The world often underestimates the Sigma female because her strength does not shout. She is not the one demanding attention or putting herself at the front of every stage. Instead, she moves quietly, often in the background, and this subtlety makes people assume she has little power. But those who dismiss her overlook the depth of her presence. Quiet strength is harder to measure, yet it is often the kind that endures the longest. History is full of figures who were ignored or dismissed until their impact became undeniable. Writers whose work was not recognized until years after their death. Thinkers whose ideas were mocked before they reshaped entire fields. Artists who lived in obscurity, only to have their work define generations. The Sigma female reflects this same pattern in her own life. She does not force recognition, but her choices, her discipline, and her resilience eventually speak louder than the noise of those who once doubted her. This underestimation can serve her well. Being overlooked allows her to move freely, to observe without pressure, and to grow without unnecessary eyes watching her every step. By the time people finally notice, she has already built something real, something that cannot be taken away. The world may see her as too quiet, too detached, too unbending. Yet over time, those same qualities prove to be her strength. When others burn out from chasing attention, she remains steady. When others fall because their identity was tied to validation, she stands firm. The Sigma female may be underestimated in the moment, but she is rarely forgotten in the end. The Sigma female matters now more than ever because the world is drowning in noise. Everywhere people compete to be seen, to be heard, to prove themselves louder than the rest. Social media thrives on this constant shouting, and society rewards those who demand attention. Yet in the middle of this storm, the Sigma female represents the opposite: calm, independence, and inner steadiness. She is proof that you do not need to scream to hold power. Her existence challenges the structure of how society measures value. In a system built on hierarchies, who leads, who follows, who belongs where, the Sigma female refuses the game entirely. She shows that there is another way to live, one not dependent on rank or approval. This makes her a quiet disruptor. She does not fight to topple the system, but her refusal to participate questions its very foundation. In today's world, where authenticity is scarce and conformity is encouraged, her presence stands as a reminder of resilience. She shows that you can belong to yourself without apology. She shows that strength is not only found in dominance, but also in independence, in the refusal to be shaped by shallow measures. This is why she is rare and why she matters. She embodies a form of power that is timeless, one that cannot be taken by changing trends or shifting opinions. She is not common because courage is not common. She is not everywhere because discipline is not everywhere. But where she is found, she becomes a mirror, showing us what it looks like to live with integrity, to stand firm in a world built on uncertainty. The Sigma female is more than a type of woman. She is a mirror of a deeper truth about human strength. She reminds us that power does not always come from leading armies or drawing crowds. Sometimes it comes from the ability to walk alone, to live by principles even when the world pushes against them. She shows that independence is not rebellion, but clarity, a choice to remain rooted in what is real rather than what is popular. For men, her life is a lesson that true respect is earned through discipline and authenticity, not empty displays of dominance. For women, she is a reminder that strength does not require imitation of anyone else, not alpha, not beta, but the courage to remain whole in yourself. She is rare not because she seeks rarity, but because few are willing to pay the price of solitude, silence, and self-control. The Sigma female teaches us that freedom is found not in being above others, but in needing no approval from them. Her life whispers a kind of wisdom, that calmness can outlast noise, that self-mastery is greater than control over others, and that solitude can be a wellspring of strength rather than a curse. She matters because she represents something we all secretly crave, the courage to be enough on our own. And though not everyone will walk her path, those who understand her will see a truth that transcends gender, rank, and time. She is rare because she is real, and in a world of masks, nothing is more powerful than that. If this vision of the Sigma female gave you something worth thinking about, stay with me and watch the next video where we continue exploring the rare truths that shape strength and character.